Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at Detroit Bass Fest, hanging out with Larry's drummer, Gabe Gonzalez. What's going on, man?
That's me. How you doing, sir?
You having fun?
Yeah, no, I'm having a great time today. It's been amazing seeing all these great players and Chuck and everybody. And I was blessed to meet a couple of the cats before. I know I met Quentin at the NAM show. 2004, that's what we were just talking about, so I'm just honored and pleasure to see him here in Detroit tonight. And you know, hit all the cats. You got Ralph in the building, you got you know, man, that's amazing. I'm just like blown away. Of course, Mr. Chuck Rainey, you don't get no better than that, so you know.
Right. And what you up to, man? If we want to keep up with you, what you been up to?
You know, I'm doing the open jam at the Lager House, Wednesdays and Thursdays at the Berries. I think we're going back to Wednesdays, and Phil Hale on keys, and Larry Lee been coming down. I've been having a few different cats. I got my own band, Animal Squad. We just did a show with Mike Hampton from P-Funk came in. That was another thing, being here, is blessed I have to work with all the cats that I have, Billy Bass, Rodney Skeet Curtis, and Bootsy. You know, it's like, people don't realize I've been spoiled to play with such monstrous bass players like that, so it kind of helped my dream a lot as far as that, you put that pocket where it's supposed to be, and you know, keeping things on the one. So that's why I'm here trying to do that. You know, I got a few other gigs here and there coming up. My reggae band, The Process, up in Saginaw, and Malik Austin and Linwood All-Stars. I play with them coming up at the Jazz Cafe with Bubs Fiddler on bass, Amps brother. So I got quite a few things jumping off. I got to get by your spot.
Yeah,
we hang out with y'all in the dungeon.
Yeah. Come on to the basement, hang out with us. And I owe you one too. I got to come and play some of that Parliament Funk with you, man. I'll be up there at the jam session soon enough, man.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm happy to be here and see all y'all and see everybody. I didn't know this was going on. Larry was just like, man, you can do a gig with me. I'm like, okay. I didn't know what I was walking into. Turned out to be this, and I'm thinking, you know, what's going on? So then I realized and started checking everything out. Seeing it was a bass fest. My man Gordon, he goes back to my first band, Enemy Squad, 20 years ago. So it's like a big viewing.
All right, so we hanging out with Mr. Larry Lee. What's going on, man?
Man, I'll tell you what a day, man. Bass Fest 2013. Met one of my heroes, Chuck Rainey, and got to meet some new guys. But overall, I found out all my boys from Ohio, man. Them Ohio boys.
And then something today was like Dayton, Youngstown, and Cleveland.
It was in the water back then, man. Doug Johns, I didn't know, and I really did not know Chuck Rainey was an Ohio boy until I met him the other day. It's a wonderful thing, man. I'm loving it,
Okay, and what you gonna be doing today?
Man, I'm opening up the show tonight. I'm gonna be opening up and showing some techniques and showing some of that stuff I learned from all the cats in Dayton and bringing out the funk. That's what I'm gonna do.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look right now at Mr. Larry Lee and Gabe Gonzalez.
Gabe Gonzalez, P-Funk.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Dayton, Ohio, our good bass brother, great friend, Mr. Larry Lee.
Thank you. I'm going to start off by admitting something. My name is Larry Lee, and I am a thief, because I steal bass lines from everybody. But, you know, when I was first asked to do this, I said, well, what can I show anybody or talk to anybody about with all these great bass players in the house? But then I got to thinking about it, so all I'm going to do is kind of talk to you and translate some of my theories, some of my thoughts about bass and where it comes from and how I like playing it and going from there. So hope I don't bore you and we'll have a good time. Like he said, I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio. So any of you have a clue about all the funk that came out of Dayton, Ohio? Got an idea of all the good old funk that came out of Dayton, Ohio? Well, I was fortunate enough to grow up in Dayton, Ohio in the 70s when the Ohio Players became the first group really out of the city. And all of us, just like up here in Detroit, you guys had neighborhoods, and all you guys had the talent shows and the battle of the bands. Well, we did the same thing down in Dayton, which made things fun. So I'm gonna give you some snippets of a few things that came out of my hometown, like this one. We'll give it a shot. You're a bad, bad this ass in your skin tight breeches, running folks in the ditches, baby about but stitches. Yeah, y'all can help me out. Skin tight. Y'all know it? Skin tight. One more time. Skin tight. Skin tight to the brim. With your bad self, Sugarfoot. You know, we just lost Sugarfoot back in February. What a great guy. A little bit of Ohio Players. See if you remember this one. Y'all know all that, school. The way I walk and talk really sets me off to full of long time. Yes, it does. The way you squeeze and tease knocks me to my knees, really smoking, baby, baby. The way you swerve and curve really wrecks my nerves. I'm so excited, child. When you push, lets me know that you're gonna get your wish. Oh, no! I'm still in Dayton, Ohio now. I'm in my hometown. All my homeboys. Fire. Break it down, gang. I'm still in Dayton, right? That's just a couple. That was the Ohio Players. I actually grew up, yeah, little Ohio Players. You know, they had so many other hits we could go on for days. But then I actually graduated from high school with this group, and I played in this group. I'll tell you a little bit more about my story in a minute, but I played in this group for a while when we were high school kids, right before this tune came out. See if you remember this. Remember that group Slave? Well, when that came out, we were seniors in high school. Can you imagine being a senior in high school with a hit record all across the country? Well, that was the Slave thing. And Mark Adams, one of the baddest bass players around, had his own style. So we used to play in the garage, and Mark came up with this bass line. Break it down, okay? Now that was Slave. We came out of high school with Slave. We were seniors in high school when that came out, 1977. But right after the Ohio players, there was another group that kind of made it big out of Dayton. Now, you know, total, there were 8 groups out of Dayton. Lakeside, Slave, Heat Wave. You remember Heat Wave? Boogie Nights. Okay. Ohio players, Slave, Lakeside, Heat Wave. Roger Troutman and Zap, More Bounce to the Ounce, Dayton, Ohio. Roger Troutman. Then there was another group, when I talk about Lakeside, you remember this one? Hey, come on, take a ride to the party over here. There ain't no job. It's live, it's all the way live. Don't even have to walk, don't even have to. It's slide, slip and slide, and forget about the troubles in your 9 to 5. Sail on, just sail on. Now the groove's so funky. Hey, what do you think? What's the call? Call the Lakeside Snack. All right, that's Lakeside. So we're just having a little fun with some old school stuff I grew up with. Doug is an Ohio boy. You know what I found out too? Did not notice Chuck Rainey's Ohio boy. So Ohio's representing all up in here. So we went from Lakeside to Slave, but then we start branching out in Dayton a little bit more. Lakeside, Slave, Heat Wave. So you know that the funk is established in Dayton, Ohio at that point, right? So we start getting into some other things in Dayton. And this is kind of like my mentor. I'm a big Sly and the Family Stone guy. Larry Graham is kind of like my influence. So this thumb, you know, we use this thumb for a lot of bass scenarios. But Larry Graham uses it in a different way besides slapping. And that's where I kind of get my technique from. Like, let's take a basic groove like this. Break it out. So that thumb, double thumb, you start off with the 1. Down up stroke. You can stay right there and just make a groove like Larry Graham. All right, little Larry Graham thing. Now that's my big influence, thank you. So, but the Larry Graham thing, I'm a huge Larry Graham, you know. It's all about the groove. One of the things that I love about bass guitar, I think of myself like a drummer with strings. Because if the bass player and the drummer is hooked up, it's all about the pocket. The pocket, y'all. You know, I love tricks. I love all those guys that can do them. And that's a beautiful thing. I know a few myself. But when you're in a band and you call yourself a band, it's all about the drummer and the bass player. We're the two most important people. So I go back to keeping that groove. Now all kind of things can happen from there. All about the groove. kick drum, snare drum. Break it down, gang. Let me tell you a little bit about the drummer also. Now, being a big Funkateer, I am a huge, like I said in Dayton, we started off in Dayton, and we started branching off. We branched off into all the funk that was going on. And you can't talk about funk without showing some love to George Clinton. You know, I'm the biggest Funkateer on the planet. And so we started branching out, all of us Dayton boys, into some other funk, like I said, like Sly and the Family Stone. And see if you remember this one. We start branching off into George Clinton. Now you gotta be a Funkateer to know this one. Got an idea? Here we go. See what I'm talking with that pocket? Cosmic slot. Now I'm not a singer, but I'll throw out a few notes. If y'all start making that funk face, I know I'm not sounding right. Space, people, universal love. Come on, Gordon. Space, people. That's the good thing about bass players. We all have fun. It's loose. Universal lover. Then he said, I hear my mother call back to the pyramids. I hear my mother call. Has anybody seen the pyramids? I was 1 of 5 to my mother, older sister, and 3 young brothers. Seen it hard, we seen it kinda rough. And always with a smile, she was sure to try to hide facts from us that life was really tough. I can hear my mother call, I can hear my mother call. And at night I hear her call, oh the Lord, I hear her call. Father, falling for the kids, and everything I did. Please don't just be too strong. Lord knows I did no wrong. Lord knows. If you know it, sing along. Here I go. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing that cosmic song. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing that cosmic song. Do you want to dance? Come with me and doing that cosmic slide. She was well known through the ghetto. Church would come and they would go. The neighbors would stop and call her Jezebel. That's P-Funk, y'all. So we started branching out with the P-Funk. I'm a huge George Clinton fan. So I'm just gonna play some snippets of some George Clinton. What if we did this one? Do that stuff, just do that stuff. Do that stuff, oh, do that stuff. See how you lock in with that drummer? Break it down. I got on this, but I got off of it a little bit. The reason I got the young man playing drums with me, you all might know him. His name is GABE Gonzalez. He played a long time with P-Funk and George Clinton and some other folks. So he's got that funk pocket that we're talking about. Hear that funk pocket? That's what it's all about with me. It's all about the pocket. Now you can go a bunch of different places with the right beat and the right groove on bass. I'm all about the pocket.